to the third one in the plant kingdom. First, it was, if we go from the beginning, first was the algae, second was bryophyta, third was pteridophyta. And actually, if you see in this how they are arranged, they are clearly showing an evolutionary point of view in the terms of science. First life was in water, then bryophytes 50-50, neither land nor water. Then comes pteridophytes. And in bryophytes and in algae, there one more thing was lacking. That means they don't have a good vascular bundles. That is, xylem and phloem were absent. But in pteridophytes are the first plant species which started to show a good vascular bundles. That is, xylem and phloem was present. And what is one of the most important character a plant should have if they want to live in terrestrial ecosystem? Because in terrestrial ecosystem, the water available is majorly, it is in only two forms. One is in the form of rain, another one is in the form of groundwater. And if they want to get a good round groundwater, the roots has to go very deep into the soil. Plus they need a system which can conduct this water and transport the food material from one place to another. So this was first seen in pteridophyte. And one of the best examples for the pteridophytes are ferns, which we can see in our common areas where there is the water laggings are more. And in pteridophyte also, apart from the availability of, apart from the presence of this xylem and phloem, that is vascular bundles, there is no much difference between bryophytes. And if you see this, these plants also have in if you see in bryophytes, gametophyte is the most dominant stage. But here in the pteridophytes, you can see they have differentiated into stems and leaf, and with the vascular bundles. And one of the best few examples they have given here, that is the Silonella euchestium ferns and other things. And if you turn there, and they'll got some leaf, and the leaf started to be modified. Leaf started to slowly modified into the form known as the microphyls. And these are the microphyls are the sporangia, in which spores are formed. Since the spores are formed inside that, we'll call it as sporophylls. And they started to show a cone like structure which is known as the strobilus. We can see in the B diagram equisteum, we can see that on the very tip there is strobilus, and they started to show node, internode, branches, and rhizome like structures, which is a primitive form of roots. And if you see here, these spores are formed by meiotic division, and these spores conspicuous and multicellular, wherever they fall they will develop into a higher the into a pteridophyte. And apart from that, many of these pteridophytes, they are photosynthetic in nature. And even though they have a good amount of vascular bundles and systems are present, but they are restricted. That means they use water as a medium of transfer of gametes, that means the pollination. And these pteridophytes are very restricted to the geographical areas, and pteridophytes are mainly seen in areas where there is huge amount of rain, heavy rain, and the water loggings are more. There only we can see these pteridophytes. And the gametophyte, the formation of gametes, same, antheridium and archegonium. Antheridium is responsible for the male, and archegonium is responsible for the female. And they hear this archegonium is immobile. That means they are not moving from, but the male are mobile, they are motile in nature. So they use water, and they will fuse and form zygotes, fuse and form, and that will develop into another form. And majority of the pteridophytes are homosporous in nature. Spores are of same size, and in some cases there are heterosporous. Spores will be having different shapes and size, and uh, these spores have the capacity to be there for a longer period of time wherever they are, and they are the precursors of seed habit. That means even the spores are formed in heterospores and homospores. When we see these seeds of the plants, there also we can see these type of changes are, or these type of characters are present. So they are considered as a primitive form of these seed habits. And these pteridophytes are again classified into the four classes: Felicipodia, Liphospodiums, and Petrosporia. So these are the main classification or the main thing that depends upon pteridophytes. And if you are coming to the next, that is gymnosperms. They are 100% dependent upon the terrestrial ecosystem. And these gymnosperms, gymnos means naked, and seeds, sperms means seeds. That means here they will be having naked seeds. And these gymnosperms are started to show symbiotic association, especially this mycorrhiza, fungal association, which we call it as mycorrhiza. So which they help them to fix nitrogen source. Since they can fix with the nitrogen sources, these gymnosperms can even grow in the dry areas. And these gymnospores are heterosporous in nature. That means they produce half a 50 microspore and megaspore, microspore and megaspore. And these spores are inside a sporophyll, which we call it as the cones. And the cones or strobili that carries male, that means micro, known as microsporophylls, and the small one which is called as the megasporophylls, or male strawberry. This is the main thing. And the male, these micros will produce pollen grains, and the megasporangium will produce ovules, and they are known as the uh, female strawberries. So these are the main, and these they have the protection also. These seeds are protected also with different layers. That means the ovules are protected with nucellus, so that they can be there in the environment for a longer period of time. And if you see this gymnosperms are having one more advantage. These gymnosperms are living in a dried area. Majority we can see in the dried area. Most of the coniferous trees, they produce Christmas trees, they produce corns they will produce. And these corns, they may have to survive for a long winter or a long summer, especially in the long summer times. And we can see this in the Mediterranean regions maximum, we can see them. So they need some extra protection. And this is one of the most advantage part of a seed also. Seed can be stored for a long period of time, and when the best condition comes, they can grow. And another thing, when we are comparing about the gymnosperms and angiosperms, sorry, gymnosperms, when we relate with the bryophytes and pteridophytes, we can see that the existence, many of them are existing free living. Many of them are existing free living, and they started to move according to the air current. That means the pollination and other things depends. They started to depend upon the air current, and pollen tube growth. The first they started to see inside this gymnosperms. So these things made them individual. So since they are 100% self-dependent, they started to flourish all over the area. But only the negative part is the seed. They can't flourish in many areas if the pollination is not well. So from that, the angiosperms are developed. So we will discuss about this angiosperms in next class. So please go through this reading, and any doubts, please let me know. Thank you.